So whenever it's completely white outside because of a massive snowstorm, thank you, Pittsburgh, what do? You make another video. And in this case, we are going to keep on rocking with the new cars. And I think next video, we are going to dive into the new Avi Schwartzman missions, which I am super excited for. But we need a car to do those missions in, and I already have one. It's the FMJ Mark V, not this. But I still need a car I can plop in my driveway because that is a very, very cool feature of the new update. And this is going to be my go-to car just for that. So this, of course, is the Sentinel XS4 based on the BMW M5 E39. And in fact, actually, I have a Hot Wheels of said E39 right here. Very, very cool. And I also have a boulevard of it as well. However, should I do that? However, it is in those bins down there, or those cases down there. And it's just one car, so like, and plus it doesn't have a really cool card. Plus this Canyon series is very nice. My favorite car of it is obviously the Sierra Escort. I don't know if it's obvious, but it's not a Sierra Escort. It's a Cosworth Sierra. Wait, yes, it is. It is a Sierra Cosworth. I don't know. Maybe I said Sierra Escort. I did. My brain is completely confuzzled. I kind of woke up from a nap a little while ago, so my brain's all woozy doozy. Anyways, let's get ourselves some performance upgrades first before we dive into all the little. This is gonna have a V8. Damn. Okay. And okay, we'll decide on the suspension after we do the rest of the upgrades. In case we have some really cool rally mods, that'd actually be really cool, but I mean, probably not. But let's just, I'm gonna move myself forward a little bit. And we still have the 10-minute recording, which W Xbox. Now we go for bumpers. Let's see what we got here. Street, ooh, okay, I feel like all the modifications for this are gonna be like super tasteful. Mono, Street era spec. They have Mark II and Mark III. Actually, I think I like it a little more simple, so we'll go with the street bumper. That looks super clean. Now for the rear bumper, we also have another street one, which is not, it actually makes it a little less sporty, but I think I like it that way. Street Mark II, Void era spec, Void Mark II, and Mark III. I feel like I want to make this thing a little simpler, so let's go with the street rear bumper again. Now for the exhaust, we have Race Mark II, Mark III, and Mark IV, titanium, and I'm assuming the same thing for the shapes. I do like how they are kind of just like very blunt with like what they are, or not blunt, but just very, I don't know. As I said, my brain is all woozy doozy, so I think I kind of like the stock exhaust the best actually. But if I want this thing to shoot flames, which I do, I have to go with the custom options. So I think if I would go for any, maybe titanium. I think I will actually keep it stock. Now let's see the hood. Base GT, Mark II and Mark III, Void GT, Mark II, and Street. That's kind of like the old, like the day one Sentinel. I kind of like that actually, like how they did that little throwback. But if we are going to go for anything, I think we are going to go for the Void. I think it would look better if the vent was actually in black. But even I don't know if I would like that better actually. We'll come back to liveries. Let's just finish up on the other modifications real quick. Now for the roof, you have a roof wing, a classic roof rack, and a roof box. I think I'm going to go with the roof rack instead of the box, because I think this thing would look nicer in my driveway that way, without the massive roof box. Plus, it kind of works for a car like this, but not for the build I kind of want to do for this. Now for the skirts, we have Street Mark II and Mark III, Void Mark II and Mark III, and then Classic Mark II and Mark III. I think I like the more simple side skirts, so I think we'll actually go just with some basic street skirts. Maybe Street Mark II? Actually, I think I like Mark III better because they're a little smaller. Or, yeah, Mark III. Now for the spoiler, we have a ducktail, very clean. A Mark II and Mark III ducktail. a GT wing, an RC wing, and an RC wing Mark II. You know, I don't actually hate that. I think that, I mean, like, I think here we will actually go with the RC wing Mark II, because I don't really like that dip with the Mark 1. Now for sun strips, we have Minmont in black, Hardstand in black, and Fukuru in black. Isn't that looks a little off center maybe? I did hear that one of the Sentinel modifications was off center. The wing isn't, the bumper isn't, neither bumper is off center, and I haven't seen anything off center yet. Maybe it is the sun strip that is a little off center. I don't think so, but we aren't gonna go with the sun strip anyways. It might be one of the liveries, so let's go through and let's actually see what liveries we have. We have a basic white racing stripe or one in black. Oh, I think I see what they mean. The rear bumper, look at that. The livery is off center. Yeah. Okay, so the street bumper it is a little bit glitched. Okay. I don't actually know if I like any of these liveries though. This racing stripe two-tone, definitely not. Black top, that's like, oh, that's the Fast and Furious livery. Yeah, I know, I think I know that one. That's from the, that's from Fast and Furious 4. Or it's just called Fast and Furious, but yeah. They have Urban. Ooh. Okay. Ubermont. Very cool. Junk Energy. And then Atomic. I guess that livery could hint towards a drift, towards drift tuning for this thing. But I don't think I'm going to go for any liveries. One, because the rear bumper is, a little bit stupid. And two, I don't actually think any of them look good anyways. I think it does look best clean. So for suspension, I guess we'll just go with the, I think we'll actually go street suspension. Of course, just gotta keep the street theme. Plus, I don't want it to be too low. I know that a lot of people are gonna go for stance builds, but this is gonna be more of like a street build, like something that can actually be usable in day-to-day life. So now let's actually, oh, it only has a primary color? No trim color? Oh, no secondary color, but yeah. Wow. A car in 2025 that doesn't have a secondary color. I also don't know what color to paint this. I think Galaxy Blue? This already has like a little bit of pearlescent in it looks like. So I think it's either gonna be Galaxy Blue or black. But honestly, I wish I had grille modifications because I really would have liked a like a black or a plastic grille. But I don't feel like I do enough black cars, so I think I should do this thing in, like, silver or black. Ooh, that silver looks nice, though. Dark steel or black. Both those look equally as cool, honestly. I think I like the black better, though. Maybe? Yeah, I actually do like the black better. For the trim, it already has black trim. It just changes the stuff around the doors, so I think we will also leave that black as well. Now, I feel like the wheels are going to be hard to pick for this thing because they are the size of sport wheels or tuner wheels. They are sport wheel size, and I think the size of them is good. So let's sift around through the sport wheels. Maybe if we need to, take a look at the street wheels because those also have some wheels that are the same size. That Deep 5 is actually really nice for this thing. But I haven't thought about the wheels that much. If we could have the stock wheels in black, I feel like that would be the best course of action. I think there is actually a glitch to make colored stock wheels, but I don't know it off the top of my head. Those wheels, for a different build, I think the S-Racer would go so hard, but that's not what we're doing here. Maybe the Venom wheels, actually. I feel like it's a little too fancy for this thing, though, because this thing isn't, like, Bentley levels of fancy. Like, it's BMW levels of fancy. And honestly, there are cars much fancier than a BMW, so no, your BMW X3 is not on par with a Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Well, I did just accidentally press A, which did give me some wheels for free, actually, because if you press A on the stock wheels, then you actually get the first option for free. So that's kind of what I did for these retro Steelies. But no, we are not putting this thing on Steelies. Not at all. Okay, so this car is pretty bugged, considering how most of the wheel options glitch through the brake calipers. I actually have no idea what to do for this thing. And those wheels are actually smaller than stock. Maybe these Cosmo keys, they do glitch through the calipers though, I think. Yeah, they do. Let's see the rest of the wheels though. Oh yeah, rough foiled mega deep, that totally glitches through the calipers. Honestly, it does make sense though, because the stock wheels, they are kind of far out. I do like the stock wheels a lot though. So it's going to be hard to choose something different. Because I do want something with like an older style. Like definitely like 90s, early 2000s style wheels. But a lot of this stuff is super modern. So I doubt there's going to be anything good in high end. But I guess we could check it. If not, I feel like I might go back to street. And maybe go with those Venom wheels. This doesn't actually look that bad. The Cheetah RRs. These were always some of my favorite wheels in the game. I feel like it isn't actually that hard to make wheels for this, but yet again, like, a lot of stuff doesn't really fit well. Like, obviously it does, like, fit the... Actually, no, it doesn't fit the car well, because you can blame the brake calipers for that. So in terms of sport wheels, I think best course of action is maybe Venom? Venom or Oozer? I don't know if I want to go with the Oozer wheels. What about... T37s don't work very well. What about... I think the Deep 5. Deep 5 might be the best. And, okay, we can't paint the lip, but I do think I like it better like this, maybe? Okay, white wheels goes so hard. But then I think we're going to lower it one more. Yeah, that looks good. That's solid. Alright, let's get out and let's actually see how this thing finally drives. I'm not actually... that's Avi right there. We're going to do those missions next. It does sound really good, I'll give it that. And I feel like the camera, too, is, like, bugged because it's really, really high up. But the handling on this thing is nice, actually. Like, it's snappy. It doesn't have good acceleration, though. But I guess that's kind of what you get from a 2-ton luxury car from the early 2000s. It does... I will give it this, though. It might be one of my favorite-looking cars in the game. Because this thing, it actually looks pretty beautiful. I would say if the rear light, if the taillights were a little bit bigger, I think I would like this a lot more. What is that penumbra doing? But overall, this thing, like, it doesn't have the acceleration. It does make up for it in handling, though, because this thing feels nice. Should we do a top speed test? I feel like it might be better to drive this like this, because the camera on this car, for some reason, is extremely high. But I don't feel like the name of the game is exactly speed with this car. So it might only top out around like 120 something. Which is totally understandable. It'd be crazy if this thing could get to 130, because this might be one of the fastest cars in the sedans class. Which at first I didn't even realize this was classed as a sedan, but it does make sense. So let's cut through here. Let's get on the highway, and then let's see what the top speed of this thing really is. But it's going to take us a while to get there, because as I said, this thing does not have the acceleration. So let's hop in here. We're already doing right around over 120. That is 130. That is 130 miles an hour. Let's keep pushing through traffic here. Maybe it does level off around 125. There's a lot of traffic, though. Let's see. We are doing over 130. Let's slow down there a little bit for traffic. Let's take this. I think right around 130 is pretty solid. Or it keeps, like, glitching out the speed. Not glitching, but, like, it sits at 130 and then it goes down to 125 again. I do think it will be around 130-ish. That's 130, okay. A little up to 135. But then back down to about 132. Back up to 135. So this thing definitely isn't the slowest in the game. In fact, it might be one of the fastest, I think, in as I said, in the sedans class. We're sitting right around 130, so I'm going to say its natural top speed is roughly 130 miles an hour. I blame that Prius for that. Oh, and I hit the coyote. Okay. Let's go actually repair this thing. But I could totally see this thing getting drift tuning soon. I should actually check the LS car because I don't know if they added any new drift tuning cars yet. And I'm surprised this thing doesn't have drift tuning. It probably will come with the drip feed though. Kind of like what they did with the Annis Hardy last update. But I would say there's definitely some like really cool builds you could do with this. Probably some... Oh, wait, hang on. I must. You get an achievement for this anyways. Bah! You get awards for that anyways. However, I would say there's definitely a lot more potential with this car. You could definitely change up the grille, definitely have a lot more options. It'd be really cool to get a wide body of this too. And there's definitely potential for some really good DTM builds, which I would love to see. Oh, hang on, just... Chocolate! Bah! Okay. And now we escape off-road. I actually wonder what the, what the off-road grip, loss stat is for this, because some cars, actually have like a little secret, stat where they lose top speed and grip on, dirt, and actually, this thing might have a really low stat, because maybe they forgot to add one, because this thing is perfect in the dirt. Oh my god. This is like comically good. Literally comically good in the dirt. Honestly, I want to see how this thing performs in snow, because this thing would be probably pretty wild in the snow if it has this much grip. I should actually make a video seeing which car is the best in the snow come Thursday, because I seriously cannot believe we're only like 2 weeks away from Christmas. This year really just flew by, and honestly, it doesn't even feel like the holiday season. If I'm gonna be completely honest with my life, it just feels like every holiday season is just another year wasted. I could have actually done something better. But, I mean, here I am making a video on an E39 and GTA, not really getting anywhere else. Next year, though, I do have some big plans for my life. If the Guardian of Pedophiles doesn't get in the way, then hopefully I will grab myself some estrogen finally whenever I turn 18. I don't actually know if I have any plans for my 18th birthday other than getting a cookie cake that's decorated to look like a pizza. That is literally my only plan for my birthday. Oh, and of course setting up an appointment to get a turkey. That is the #1 thing I want. Like, really, estrogen is like the #1 thing I need. I think I should make an entire video on like my trans experience and my trans journey, because, you know, yeah. Right there. Ignore my super red hands. No, I do not moisturize, but honestly, I feel like I should. It's just my skin gets really sensitive, so. Anyways, my final thoughts on this. There's so much more potential for customization, but this thing is just unbelievably cool and unbelievably clean. And I guess it is kind of like the Sentinel from GTA 4, which is probably my favorite BMW in the GTA series. That was at the I think it's the E36. Yeah, I think it is the E36 M3. If they add that, I feel like it would go perfect with the Sentinel XS4, and hopefully we actually get a version of it in GTA 6, because I would love to see an E36 return. But this thing, I am not a big fan of BMWs, but you gotta admit, this thing is so sick. This could definitely have a lot of potential. But even right now, for, how much is it? It is only for just under 1.5 million, for actually a little bit under 1.5 million. I would say it's kind of worth it. Even though the rear bumper is glitched, I feel like this thing looks better without any liveries. It looks stupid clean. So definitely pick it up. This thing might actually be pretty damn worth it.